animals in the back. I've never seen those in Minneapolis. Nice. So, Mike, I sent you a package. Did you get it? Okay, that's all. Just want to make sure. Okay, that's okay. No problem.
And
Hey,
welcome.
good evening, everybody.
There you go. Welcome back, everybody, to Fishing Adventures Florida, Florida West Coast Fishing Report podcast. That's the way
There you
we
go.
got to do it now.
Yes.
Yes, I think that's the correct way of doing it.
Mhm.
And today, as we told everybody, we have a very special guest, and that's Lisa Fitzgerald from CCA. And we really wanted to bring her on board because I know a lot of you guys have been telling us about wanting to hear about what was going on with CCA, about the Star Tournament and everything else. And nobody else is but the expert, Lisa herself, in person. So, welcome on board, Lisa. We're glad to have you on. Yeah, I get a little bit of feedback. I don't know why. But anyway, uh, is it still? Are you getting feedback?
A little bit.
No.
No.
Okay.
Got it once for
Okay.
a second there, but it looks like it's okay.
Okay, it's gone. Good. All right. So Lisa, thank you very much. And I know that there's been a lot of changes at CCA, and if you could kind of like just take us by the leash and kind of walk us through and let's bring all our audience up to date to what's actually happening and what's going on and what you're doing now, because I think you've changed a little bit of some of the stuff you had to do and everything else. So we'll just kind of turn it over to you and let you explain everything.
Other organizations that were replicating our format, doing a lot of the similar things, and our registrations and the people that were participating, our adult registrations seem to be falling off where our youth participation was growing. And one of the things that we realized was our youth, and we are very engaged with our youth in other areas of CCA. With the STAR competition, we had the $100,000 in college scholarships that we offered. We realized that there really wasn't a fishing competition out there for our youth that were recruiting youth into the sport, new youth anglers. And since we were having a challenge with who we were having participate, the thought process by the executive committee was, let's look at creating STAR to be youth engagement. Let's not just not have a STAR competition. Let's actually make something really cool out of it. We've already awarded $1.1 million in college scholarships to kids just for catching fish. So let's take that concept and let's expound upon it a little bit. So what we did was we took the STAR competition and created it to be exclusively youth ages 6 to 17. They can enter any species of saltwater fish, any size, from anywhere that they catch them in saltwater in the state of Florida. Submit them through the iAngler app in the STAR competition, and a random drawing is done for two $25,000 scholarships, one from Real Tree Fishing and one from the Guy Harvey Foundation, and then 10 $5,000 scholarships from companies like West Marine, TH Marine, Power Pole, Carolina Skiff, all of these different companies that were donating money so that we could continue to offer $100,000 in college scholarships. But we changed something just a little bit more there. We went and spoke to a lot of different teens, and one of the things that we heard from the STAR competition, where it was for adults, were the kids liked the fact that they could win a boat. It would be their first time boat. And Carolina Skiff stepped up to the plate and said, we will award a youth ages 13 to 17. We call it our Teen Challenge within STAR. A youth 13 to 17 can win a brand new 16 JVX center console with a 70 horsepower Yamaha sitting on a trailer with a Minn Kota trolling motor and a Power Pole Micro on the transom as their first boat. Or if they already have a boat, this is going to be their first Carolina Skiff. Then Custom Ginu came aboard and said, we'll offer an LT25. So we have 2 boats to award to youth. And then we have Bull Bay Rods offering a rod and reel package for the 3rd place in our Teen Challenge. So there's really a lot of really great ways to engage our youth in the sport.
I mean, yeah, it's really super.
But we didn't want to leave the big kids out. We didn't want to leave the big kids out. So something that we decided to do was to partner with someone who was involved in STAR last year, Drum Spots. And we had the Drum Spots Lots of Spots tournament. So recreational anglers anywhere in the country who catch a spotted multiple spot redfish can enter it in the Lots of Spots tournament and win up to prizes valued up to $25,000. First place prize for the most spots is a skiff with a Yamaha motor, and trolling, Minn Kota trolling motor, and a Power Pole Micro on it, and it pays out 6 places. It runs Memorial Day to Labor Day, just like our Youth STAR competition. And what this does is our recreational anglers now feel like it's something more attainable. Catching a redfish with multiple spots is something easier to do than catching a tagged redfish.
All right. Now, what's the age group for that?
That is that's 18 plus.
18 plus. So a 55-year-old youth.
If you feel a 55-year-old guy can get involved in the lots of spots, and it does not require you to be a CCA member. It's only $50. It runs Memorial Day to Labor Day, just like the STAR competition. You can go to the iAngler app, go
Okay.
in and search for the Lots of Spots competition, and you register right through iAngler and get in the tournament. But the cool thing is, weekly, we do a weekly prize from West Marine of $125 gift card for the redfish that week that has the most spots.
Okay, good. So the older youth, it's 18 and over. You said that the older group, the
Yes,
kids.
that's 18
Now-
and older, and the younger, the STAR youth competition is 6 to 17. So if they turn 18 within the competition, they can still compete.
Now, when you say 18 and older, they're not specifying an end age on that.
No, any
So-
age angler can participate in the Lots of Spots tournament.
Okay, so that means, a guy that's been trying to fish the CCA for years, he's been doing it. He's 45 years old. He can still fish in that category.
Lots of Spots. It's a different tournament than STAR.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But the STAR tournament really is taking off. Guy Harvey Foundation is promoting this in all of our schools, middle school and high school. I am going down tomorrow to Miami to speak to 2 different fishing clubs in Miami tomorrow. And it really is an exciting opportunity. What you will need if you take a look at this is the identifier for the STAR competition. This identifier you can pick up at West Marine after May the 11th, and that is the 6 to 17-year-old. You can pick it up at West Marine and different bait and tackle shops throughout the state of Florida. It really is a great opportunity. So you don't have to have a fish on a measuring device. You just have to have this in the photo with your fish.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Good.
That's not a bad way of doing it. Really, really good.
Yeah.
And now,
The kids, and here's the thing that I love about the youth competition. It is not the biggest fish that wins. It is not that kid that has a big, fishes with his dad on a big fancy boat. Kids that fish from the shoreline, that fish from a pier, that fish from a dock, they can enter the competition with any species of saltwater fish. That means a catfish, a ladyfish, pinfish, snapper. All of those fish can be entered in the competition. And that will be a random drawing for the youth scholarships, as well as a random drawing for the boats. And then there will be one prize winner that enters the most catch photos in the most fish division, and they will win a brand new native watercraft Slayer Propel kayak.
oh. So now are they going to they have to put that little brochure next to the fish, take a picture, and then they're going to text it, send it by
Going
phone?
to enter it through the iAngler STAR page.
Okay.
So you just go to iAngler, you go STAR tournament, and that's where you're going to enter your fish. It's very simple. The tournament for youth is only $20. That includes their CCA membership.
Nice.
And now the youth one is for the state of Florida.
That's for the state of Florida.
Florida. Okay.
The Lots of Spots is Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, any coastal state where there are tagged or where there are spotted redfish, you can enter a redfish. The caveat to that is it cannot be over 27 inches.
Right.
Okay.
Got to be within the slot limit of the.
It can be any size. It can be 16 inches, 14
Okay.
inches, but it cannot be over 27. And the reason we do this is there is some specific schools of fish that are brood stock fish.
Gotcha.
The big leopard redfish, and those we do not want to target.
Okay. Yeah, because that's yeah, it's a smart decision because I know up Pensacola, that type of area there are a lot of those, and they are very, very large. And yeah, so now it's the spots is just the spots alone. It does not include like a spots and slots tournament where the inches of the fish plus the spots. It's
Just the spots, and you will count the spots if they are faintly colored. If I cannot really tell that it's a spot, and if they connect, if they are faintly colored, I don't count them. If
Okay.
they connect, that is one spot. That is
Gotcha.
not two separate spots.
Right. Okay.
So I guess I'm going to be selling a lot of magic markers and black.
Yeah.
Well, I have a pretty good team that reviews the catch entries, and
Yeah.
the Lots of Spots was a division of our adult star last year, and the gentleman who won had 33 spots on his redfish.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a couple of people on our that came up and says they want to know what the app again to register.
Pardon
Already
me?
said we got already a couple of the viewers to say to repeat the app. That they need to
iAngler Tournament. iAngler Tournament.
I just did it, Sergio. It's real easy.
Yeah, no, but we just got somebody.
They can, once they go into the iAngler Tournament app, they will select, if they're registering for Star, they can select Star, CCA Florida Star Tournament. If they want to register for the Lots of Spots, they would just select Lots of Spots and then select upcoming, and it will bring up the tournament. All of the rules are in both.
Now, I presume that the Lots of Spot, is that in coordination with like the Texas CCA and all that?
No, it's in coordination with Drum Spots.
Drum spots.
Drum Spots.
Okay.
Is
And
that
so the Lots of Spots is a CCA Florida event,
Okay.
but it's the entire country. Any place that has redfish, you can catch them and enter them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, they already said Donald said his grandson Henry's is registered already.
I'm so excited. Donald got Henry registered, and he is registered in the Star competition. One of the cool things about the Star competition for youth is that many of our freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors struggle to find ways to get community service hours. And for Bright Futures, which is another scholarship program, in order for a graduate to receive Bright Futures scholarships, they must have 100 plus hours of community service in order to get that scholarship money. They can pick up trash through the Star competition, a 5-gallon bucket with the identifier in the photo when they submit it equates to 30 minutes of community service hours. So if they are out on the water, if they're at a pier, if they're at a boat ramp, if they're on a shoreline, and they pick up multiple 5-gallon buckets full of garbage, they can earn community service hours over the summer. And the rules are in the competition in iAngler. which teaches them how to get their community service hours.
Well, you see, it kind of it's really pretty neat.
I can't tell you the number. I was at an event on the East Coast. Over 200 youth kids came in to fish off of a seawall. They were catching flounder and ladyfish and jacks and snook. And that was over in New Smyrna. And the parents were just over the moon with the fact that there is something now for kids, specifically for kids, where they can compete to win college scholarships. Now, it doesn't have to be just for college. It can be for a vocational school. It can be for C school. It can be for all kinds of different further education within the future of a youth.
So it's really pretty neat.
I'm excited about it. I'm hoping just to get as many youth as possible registered in the competition. It'll work great on June the 6th for your event.
That's what I was thinking.
With all your kids there. I'd love to be able to find a sponsor. The Florida Insider Fishing Report has a youth event that they do, and they pay for all of those youth that come to their event to be registered in STAR, and they send me the information. I would love to be able to find, and if any of your listeners, someone who would want to sponsor all your youth that come in order to fish the STAR.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, because we're going to have 100 there.
So,
we have 100 kids.
Yep. So that is a simple process for someone to be able to do, to register all these kids and give them the opportunity while they're there. We'll have the identifiers there as well. They can get registered, and the fish they catch during your event, they can submit through iAngler.
There you go. So it's going to be a win-win situation.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I know that you had a big role that you played in this to make it at this point, because I know that I think there was some question whether we're even going to do the CCA this year.
There was some discussion. As we all know, the economy has really taken a toll on our boat manufacturers, and the boat manufacturers have backed away from providing gift boats, if you want to call that. I hate to use the word free, because they don't give that boat to us for free. We turn around and promote them. However, giving the number of boats that we were going to need for the tagged Redfish STAR component was unmanageable.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it gets pretty expensive.
We still have great partners within the STAR Youth Program. I mean, companies like Real Tree Fishing, like AFCO, Danco, Bull Bay Rods, Florida Fishing Products, Minn Kota, Humminbird, all of these different companies that have all stepped up to provide packages and prize packages for these kids to win. It's honestly amazing to me, the amount of exposure and the amount of scholarship dollars that we've been able to generate. Over $100,000 this year, again, in order to underwrite the scholarships for our youth. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited for these kids to be able to win college scholarships. And you see my jersey?
Yep, that's it.
Every youth that wins a scholarship wins a custom jersey that looks like this, with their name across the back, that they can wear when they go fishing, as well as a Bull Bay rod, a pair of Danco pliers, and Florida Fishing Products reel. So there's really cool things that these kids are going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win situation, you know. Uh, Now, how are you going to get the word out? I know, like you said, you're going to be visiting some of the schools.
We'll
What
be
are the
doing social
avenues?
media. We'll be putting promotional social media out. Your bait and tackle shop should have, have those posters going out with handouts that will go to the bait and tackle shops. They can go to the CCAFLSTAR.com website. All the details are right there. They can register right from the website. It will give them all of the information. We have the Florida Fantasy Fishing Camp. All 800 of their youth participants will have a flyer that gives them information on how to participate in STAR. The Florida Marine Science educators, all the teachers will have flyers that will go out to all of their kids. And I'm speaking to all of the different groups throughout the state of Florida, doing different ways to promote it, but primarily social media will be the way that we promote this to the parents. So if you know parents or grandparents, I mean, what a way for a grandparent, because think about it, that kid every single day, they can go to a seawall, a pier, they can go to a beach and catch any species of saltwater fish and enter it. Guess where they aren't? If they have a rod and reel in their hand and they're on a pier, a dock, a boat, where are they?
Yeah,
They're outside
They're outside fishing. Yep.
and they're not on their laptop and they're not on video games.
and that's why I do this thing every year for the kids. Because if I can get a bunch of kids outside and get them hooked on fishing, then maybe they get away from their computer games, away from being in that dark room. And I tell you, every year, and it's mostly mothers that send me the emails. That the fathers don't, but the mothers. I had last year 2 or 3 ladies that said, "Never thought my daughter was going to like fishing," and after your thing, every weekend, all she says is, "We're going fishing this weekend. Let's go fishing. Let's go fishing."
Yeah.
But what I like about this system that you got going is I think every kid can feel he's in a level playing field. You know, you got poor kids, middle income kids, you got rich kids. And I think always, well, you know, the guy down here with a lot of money, he's got the big boat, he's got everything. The chances of that kid, if he's in the tournament, of winning, I think increases. Not maybe a lot, because fishing, a lot of it too is, you know, luck. But I guess everybody feels good now because all it takes is a rod and reel and catch a fish. That's it.
And that's why we didn't want to make it the biggest fish. We didn't want to make it that it had to be a snook, it had to be a flounder or a redfish, any species. So a puffer fish, a pinfish, a jack, a ladyfish, snapper, any of those species that can enter them daily, not just once. Every day that a child fishes, every fish they catch can be entered in the competition.
Well, you know, if when you get the flyer made, if you send me one by email, I will send it to everybody that gets registered for the June 6th. I'll send them that. So they have
Hey,
it, you know, and kind of get them pre-ready for that.
I
Because
will do that.
as we're signing up kids, part of the thing is we got to have the parents or the guardian's name, their phone number, their email address, and of course the kid's t-shirt size and all that. So that way, what I can do is, as soon as you get it, I'll send it out to them and let them know that, hey, you're going to be there, CCA is going to be there. This is what's going on. Take a look at it. You might want to register as soon as you can, or register June 6th.
Well, it runs Memorial Day to Labor Day, 100 days of fishing. So there's lots of time. The other thing is, and, you know, I try to remind people, Trace Adkins, if you guys listen to country music, which I do,
I do.
Trace Adkins wrote a song called She Thinks We're Just Fishing. And if you think about that, you're taking your child fishing. And if you think that you're just fishing, you're sorely mistaken. The bond and the time that you spend and the things you talk about, and you become so in tune with that child by spending quality time, not you both sitting on a video game or you both watching TV or something of that nature. You're out in the wild and you're teaching them and you're creating memories that they will never forget.
Well, that's what happened to me at 4.5 years old. My uncle came from Cuba and he started taking me fishing. And I just never put a rod down. I mean, I just kept on going thanks to him. And he kept me out of trouble because growing in Ybor City in the 50s, you could get in trouble.
There was
real
trouble
easy.
afoot. There was
But
trouble
because
afoot.
I was so crazy about the fishing part of it, that all summer long, I would ride my bike from 9th Avenue and 21st Street in Ybor City to the 22nd Street Bridge to fish every day. And I mean, this is why I started this thing for the kids, because there's kids that are never going to get into trouble, but there's kids that could be borderline, they're just, but if you got them hooked on something, and one of the things that I felt about fishing is some kids are meant to play baseball, some kids maybe football, maybe some kids basketball. Every kid can be an angler.
Yeah.
Correct.
It doesn't take any special trait. Just be out there with a rod and reel in your hand and be lucky.
That is exactly right. Or study and know what to do and how to catch that fish. There's so much information out there for kids, and there's so many different events that go on where they're giving education that, CCA does kids fishing clinics. We do all kinds of really great things to engage youth in the sport. We have another scholarship program that we institute where we take we take sophomores and juniors, and they have to write a essay to get picked, but there's only 10 of them, and then we award scholarships in that manner. So there's so many different ways that we engage our youth in the sport. We actually have a curriculum that has now been written on conservation of our marine resources through the Guy Harvey Foundation that talks about CCA's work, mangrove replanting, seagrasses, oyster bed renourishment, clam establishment, all of the things that we as an organization do and help to inspire individuals to get out there and get their hands dirty and get their boots muddy. And, it's something that is so very exciting for our kids to be able to do.
And couldn't do any better. Now, we're going to have to take a break and we got to get Tony Franklin on. We got some fishing reports we got to get out.
Yeah.
So,
Problem.
yeah, let's get Tony Franklin's fishing report.
Hi, Captain Tony Franklin back once again with this week's fishing report. We've had quite a variation of weather and wind again this week. Windy earlier in the week. It's calmed down towards the end of the week. The fishing has been really good the last couple of days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The fish been biting really good early in the morning. Has been the best time to catch them as that incoming tide's been coming in. We're still catching a few trout on the deeper grass flats. The mackerel have moved in, but are moving around from one day to the next. So they're not really in the same area. You got to hunt them down in a couple different areas of the grass flats, but they're on a deeper grass flat. Some days they're really thick, some days they're not as thick. Been bonnet-headed sharks out there for action. We have caught some snook this week. We've caught a few redfish this week. So the snook bite is picked up. but it's a little bit hit or miss. Some days it's really good, some days it's really iffy. We've been catching silver trout on the grass flats also. There's been a lot of jacks around for action. We're having real good bite on the mangrove snapper. So as this water temperature stays above 74 and continues to stay above that, we're going to get into pattern to where the fish are going to be more consistent, and then we'll get into the summer pattern eventually, where you'll be fishing the mostly mornings when the water is cooler. But the water temperature is starting to rise. It's about 74, 75, and we need it consistently to stay above that, which it will from here on out. So the fishing will be consistent and more consistent as the months progress. So there's a lot of fish to catch out there. Get out there, catch you some fish, tight lines. I'll see you next week.
And thank you,
Thanks,
Tony.
Tony.
And we got what? We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
We've got a few this week.
Yeah. We've got 5 more reports, so we get. But Lisa, another thing is, why is it? And is it this market what we're in? But as big as Tampa Bay is, our fishery for like redfish is not very good. It used to be.
It used to be very good. I honestly believe that if you look at our red fishery, the smaller fish in the lower side, that 12 to 16, 18 inch range, there's a lot of those fish around, but there are not a lot of the in slot range. There are quite a few of the fish that are over 27 inches, but that in slot range, we just can't seem to find them. And I do believe that has a lot to do with fishing pressure. If Sergio, I was a fishing captain for quite some time I got my captain's license in 1999, and I chartered up until 2004, 2005. I wrote for the St. Pete Times with Terry Tomlin, and I chartered for quite some time. When I got my captain's license, there was only approximately between 400 and 500 charter boat captains. Do you know how many charter boat captains we have in Tampa Bay today?
How many?
Licensed charter boat captains is over 1,500 licensed charter boat captains in Tampa Bay.
Well, let me tell you a story. When I got my captain's license, you know how many captains were in Tampa Bay? 5. James Wisner, Harry Levine,
Okay.
Dave Marquette,
Yep.
myself, and another guy, and I think it was Jerry Williams. We had our licenses back, and we got our licenses somewhere in there. I got mine in 1975. You could go to Wheaton Island on a Saturday, on a Sunday, and maybe see 2 boats. You can go any day of the week, and there'd be 15, 20 boats. And on the weekend, there'd be 40 boats at Wheaton Island. And, the other thing that's hurting it, and I'm guilty, so I'm going to take a lot of the blame, because I just did one Friday. I just had a 37 boat trip Friday out of Hula Bay. But the day before, Mike Anderson had one. And the day after, on Saturday, Jim Limke had one. Now, there was 3 different, on the day that I was doing mine, this last Friday, out of Hula Bay, Laurie Deaton had one going out of Finn's.
Yes.
So, in 1, 2, 3 days, there was 4 tournaments going on. You averaged 35, 40 boats a tournament. You think how many, and then 3 to 4 people on a boat. How many people were on the water over a 3-day period just grinding those fish?
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those tournaments were catch, photo, release?
Well, all of them, as far as all the ones I run, are released. You're not allowed to keep anything. But still, listen, we were filming last Wednesday with Michael Dawson, and a lot of the redfish that we were catching, and let me tell you, when that show comes out, yeah, you could see them. They have been caught quite a few times. Now, the difference is when you get to Tarpon Springs, for example, the pressure is not there. How many tournaments do you hear, corporate events going out of the
You
Tarpon River? You don't. So like we were there Wednesday, it got so good that after about an hour and a half, we quit fishing, gave Holt our cameraman the rod, and he landed 3 over slot redfish. I mean, we landed 20 something redfish over slot up to 30 something inches, 34 inches in an hour and a half. And but that in Tampa Bay, I had out of 37 boats I had fishing on Friday, there was maybe 8 redfish entered, 8 out of 37 captains, and each boat had 4 people on a boat. So you're talking 150 something people fishing. That's not even what it's a 5%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I can remember releasing the 1 millionth redfish in Tampa Bay with Governor Jeb Bush back in the day. And FMRI and FWC, they used to release a lot of redfish into Tampa Bay. They quit that. CCA has been releasing redfish, and we've released the juvenile redfish around Weeden Island, around Fort DeSoto, on the South Shore. We've released a lot of redfish. We've released over 100,000 every year. We're over 500,000 redfish that have been released in the coastal waters of Florida. But we replenish, and we just keep that constant pressure on them. The recruitment of the fish that make it, and when I say recruitment, that means making it through that 18 to 27 inch range. It's hard for a redfish to get through that. It's like the gauntlet that they have to go through, that 18 to 27, because, oh my God, if you're a redfish in that slot size, if you get caught, the likelihood of you being released is very slim.
Very slim.
And I know more and more captains are being educated to the fact that it is a finite resource, and that the more fish you take, the harder you will struggle over the next couple of years in order to make your living, because you're not going to be recatching those fish. When I have seen schools of redfish where there will be several hundred redfish in a school, but once it's found, it gets diminished very quickly. And the next thing you know, that 150, 200 fish school is now down to a 50 fish school. And
But
it's crazy.
well, what I was talking is like, you got Hillsborough County, you got Pinellas County. You think they would take some money out of their coffers to restock the bay? As Hillsborough, I mean, it's common sense. All you hear them talking about is, and I get upset about this, they built another park in downtown Tampa, the third park, $35 million. My God, you don't need 3 parks in downtown Tampa. You don't
How
need
many
to make
people are going to go to the park? But how many? We're the fishing capital of the world.
Amen.
Finance what brings people to the state of Florida. CCA works very hard. That 100,000 redfish that we release on the west coast of Florida, that's an expensive endeavor. And oftentimes I hear, oh, well, you guys have all these fundraisers and you do all these raffles. Where does all that money go? Well, right now we're at $27 million in habitat restoration work and fish restocking that we have done for the state of Florida. That's where our money goes.
Right.
All right, we better get
We're getting low here.
let's
Report.
get Ken Burke and Jessica. Let's get their 2 fishing reports in.
Hey guys, Captain Jessica Hanovic with the Old Hookham Charters out of Chaska, Florida. This week has been some good fishing. I was able to get out with my friend Travis Roberts from Happy Place Adventures. We were doing some snook and red fishing. We pulled up to an oyster bar hoping to catch a snook, and we got a nice surprise. It was about a 30-inch cobia off a mud minnow, so that was pretty epic. I had 2 charters this weekend. Saturday we went on a high tide, also did Sunday afternoon, and caught some overslot redfish, caught 18 to 21 inch trout left and right. It was crazy. The guy said that he had never been on a trout bite that good with that nice of trout. So he had a really, really good time. Yesterday was my friend's son's 21st birthday, so I took them out. He had a blast. We caught some nice redfish and some nice, and they also were my first clients to use Q8 super baits, so that was pretty cool. It was high tide again yesterday afternoon. The water is getting really high for our high tides again, so that's kind of nice, but it also is a struggle sometimes getting them out of the mangroves like that. The water temperature was 82 on the GPS. It's pretty breezy today. It looks like it might be a little breezy this week. And I have a 2-day tournament next week, so we will see how this goes. If you'd like to get out and see Chaz, you know where to find me. You can call me at 352-464-7309, or you can text me. Tight line.
Thanks, Jessica.
And thank you. Let's get Ken Burke on.
Yeah, Ken.
Hi, this is Captain Ken Burke. This week we caught trout, redfish, and lots of ladyfish and jack crevalle. The fish were biting on live bait and cut bait. Surprisingly, we caught most of the good fish on cut ladyfish. The water's at like a perfect temperature now of like 75 to 76 degrees in Tampa Bay. And everything is biting. There's bait everywhere. It's just a matter of getting out while they're biting, find those spots where they're feeding. Some moving current like over oyster bed with bait around it is always a good place to try. Your points and stuff on the mangroves and little cuts back in the mangroves when you got good moving water in or out going is good too. It looks like the spring weather is here, and hopefully it's here to stay. My next 2 weeks I'll be down in the Keys, at Key West actually, doing some fishing down there for a couple of weeks. So everybody get out on the water, have a good day with the nice weather. Hopefully you can hit those days when the wind is down a little bit. On Friday it was only like 4 to 6 miles per hour. It was a beautiful day on the water. We don't get those time, so take advantage when you do see a good day, when you got less wind, not too hot, and not raining or storming or whatever. When you have those days where like we had Friday, that was good. Okay, everybody, have a good time fishing, and I'll probably send in a report from Key West while I'm down there, just to let you know how much fun I'm having.
There you go.
Thanks, Ken.
Now, do you think, Lisa, that how do you see other areas of the state on the West Coast as far as red fishing? Because, like I said, Tarpon Springs is on fire. I hear around Pine Island, Boca Grande, it's been hit or miss.
I was just down there fishing out of Charlotte Harbor, and the red fishing was great. There was, we had 24 ladies, the International Women's Fishing Association, which I am a member and the conservation chair for the organization. We had what we call a funament, and we had 24 women from all over the country that came to fish, and we had 8 captains. Most of the ladies, all the boats had slams with redfish, snook, and trout. It was amazing. Further south in Marco Island, I had been at a speaking engagement down there, and they said the redfish bite was insane. I know that my friends up in Steinhatchee and in Cedar Key have said the red fishing is exceptional right now. So I think our west coast of Florida really is picking up. We're seeing bigger schools of reds, the big brood stock reds, really big reds. I'm talking the overslot schools that are moving through, and that's a good thing. In the past, you'd normally see anywhere from 10 to 14 big schools. When I say big, hundreds and hundreds of redfish coming through. The past few years, they were saying that had diminished down to between 7 and 8 that they were seeing. It's back up to the big numbers again. So I honestly believe that Tampa Bay is an anomaly in the fact that it just gets so much pressure.
Yeah, it's like a big fishbowl, but the fishbowl keeps shrinking because the amount of people that are fishing in that fishbowl.
Is, in my opinion, I have fished several tournaments in Tampa Bay, and as a honorary captain, I would go on a boat and run a boat and take people fishing, and you cannot find a spot that doesn't already have somebody on it, or if you're on it, they're going to come join you. I always feel like the old saying, I have these big signs that say free chicken wings and beer set up on my boat, because everybody comes and sets up close to me. And I actually ask them, did you see the sign? And they're like, what sign? I said, oh, you didn't see the free chicken wings and beer sign? Oh, no. And then they get it. They're too close. So I try to be nice.
Yeah. Let's get Hota, let's get Michael, Dawson, and Pam and Niall. Let's get the last 3 fishing report. And then at the very end, I want to show the one with Hota fighting one of
There you
his
go.
redfish.
Yeah, put Hota's up there.
Yeah.
I drove through the night to get here, so I'm a little tired, but there's my first red of the day. Not a bad start. Pre-fishing for the Kayak Saltwater Series and the Bayou Club. Hey, look who's on the water. The handsome and incredible Kamadi family. 3 generations of amazing anglers. Hi, this is Pam Ward, and I've got your kayak report coming to you from Grand Isle, Louisiana. I want to tell you, the redfish bite there was crazy. It was so insane. The bait that I used the most was a jig head with a swimming mullet by Gulp. Pearl was my color of choice, and that just did really, really well. The other bait that I like to use for the redfish was, especially in skinny water, was the Miralure Miridine 14. The water was cloudy there, so I used a silver color that gave a lot of flash with any light out at all, and that was very, very successful. The trout bite was insane. I got a couple really nice trout, and one of the guys there, and I'm sorry I don't have a photo of it, got a 4-pound trout, biggest trout I've ever seen in my life. Redfish bite, like I said, was great. Flounder bite was the tough one. Again, I went back to a jig head with a Gulp swimming minnow and just brought it near structure and just slowly
brought it along the bottom, and I ended up getting my flounder. So it all worked out real well, and out of all those Louisianas, I ended up third. So I was very, very excited about that. Also on the water.
Hey guys, Captain Michael Dawson here, Patriotic Guide Service, here at the Anclote Fishing Report and Forecast. So going through April here, we have been in absolute full swing out here. Redfish, trout, snook, tarpon showing up, cobia on the flats, big sharks. It's about everything you can ask for out there that's going on right now. Our snookers slowly start moving to the beaches. Already seeing some nice big fish out there on the beach, but there's still a lot of fish up in the mangroves as well. It's kind of that weird transition time where you can catch just as many in the mangroves as you can out on the beach, but there's still plenty of fish pulling out there. Trout as well, a lot of trout on the spoil islands down St. Joseph Sounds, but there's just as many fish pulling out to the beach right now. This is the great time of year. You can kind of work the sandbars and work the backside of Anclote Island, backside of Honeymoon, and start seeing big schools of fish in these little troughs. Seen a few tarpon showing up at Howard Park already this week. Some on the north end of Three Rooker. Not a lot, not enough targetable fish yet, but they're definitely pulling in. This wind we've had the last 2 days is probably going to slow that migration down just a little bit. So probably about the end of this week, maybe next week, we're going to see a big influx of fish coming in. This week, we fished with Sergio out there, did some filming out there. We caught, I don't even know how many overslot reds in a matter of a half hour. We are able to probably, I'm going to guess, probably 30 to 40 big redfish, all nice overslots this week. What was neat about them is we pulled up in the school of fish. You can kind of see them swimming around. Threw some live bait at them. Got a couple of hits, caught one, but they weren't really having it. Took the bait, trimmed the tail off. Again, they're hitting it, but not really fully on it. And then we threw a little piece of cut bait, cut the head and tail off that white bait, little chunk. And if it hit the water, it was a couple of seconds before you had a fish. And these fish were big, they're feisty, and they're all over the place. But besides that, there's redfish on the flats, there's redfish out at the key. The Johnson Invitational Big Tournament this week, the winning fish was actually caught on the Northam Anclote Island in the past. So there's some big redfish a little bit of everywhere. Get out there, have a good time. White bait's definitely the key right now, whether it's live or cuts, and make sure you get out there and find some of that. Captain Michael Dawson, Patriotic Guide Service.
Hey everybody, Captain Nile with Sweet Paradise Charters for this week's fishing report out of Steenhatchee, Florida. This past week was a good week of fishing. The spring has definitely hit in Steenhatchee, and all the fish are hot right now with all the bait fish in the flats, on the grass flats, and up in the creeks around the oyster bars. We had a great weekend of fishing for speckled trout, redfish, Spanish mackerel, and black sea bass. The charters we ran, we limited out on all these, and just a great weekend. So I would say the water temperature has got up to 78 degrees. Really, the biggest challenge we had this past week was not a lot of current, but once the current started flowing and the wind picked up a little bit, then the fish really turned on, and it didn't take long to get our limit on our catch. So bait of choice this past week was Zoom flukes and saltwater Sasson flukes under a 4 horseman popping cork, or really just slow jigging on the bottom with a 16-ounce saltwater Sasson lead head. And that was, and we did do some cut bait with ladyfish for redfish, and they were successful also. So this next week looks like wind's going to be pretty rough for the first few days. Supposed to be blowing 10 to 15 out of the southwest about Wednesday. So looking forward to getting back out on the water Wednesday for a charter and see what we can find and what's chewing. So if you're in the Steenhatchee area, give me a call at 850-443-7335. And again, it's Nile Bryant with Sweet Paradise Charters. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, let's get Hota fighting that
Yeah, Hota,
fish.
put up your fish. You get it? There he goes.
Hota's got it now. This is our cameraman. We caught so many redfish with Michael Dawson today that we went ahead and now it's turn to catch a few fish.
Hota! Yoo-hoo!
He doesn't get to do that too often.
No.
That's kind of nice.
I love it when you can let the camera guys help out.
Yeah, there you go. Hota, I get
I mean, we were done early. We had so many redfish, so we said, hey, he
That's
landed
good.
three,
You
I
guys
think,
got in the school
wasn't
of them.
Hoda, get him in the boat.
Yeah.
That was it. Now, okay, so we're all done for the day. One last thing, Lisa, just give them one more time the dates, when they can start to register and where to go to.
So they can register today. They can go for the STAR competition. They will go to ccaflstar.com and they can register there for the youth competition ages 6 to 17. That's ccaflstar.com. If they are a big kid and they're 18 plus, they can register for the Lots of Spots tournament and they can go to ianglertournament.com, look up Lots of Spots tournament and register through that program. And they can fish Memorial Day to Labor Day, 100 days plus of fishing. That is for both competitions.
Great. And if you'll send me that flyer, as soon as
will.
I get it from you, I'll email it. Is everybody's, because I'm starting to already got a bunch of kids registered. I'll start sending them a copy of the flyer by email to try to get them pumped up.
I will send that to you as soon as we wrap up here tonight. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you always being such a huge support. I'm looking forward to all the kids getting registered. And when I say all the kids, I mean the young ones and the old ones, all getting registered to fish with us because there's such a great opportunity. You know, there's a strategy here. In the Lots of Spots tournament, if I were to catch a 5-spot redfish, I'd enter it in the first week because who else is going to enter a fish? You can win a $125 West Marine gift card in that tournament. You know, there's weekly prizes in that one. And then in the STAR competition, every fish you catch or youth catches has an opportunity to win them something. So the CCA Florida STAR competition presented by Yamaha is Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Great. And thank you very much, Lisa, for your time.
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
God bless
You
you.
all have a wonderful evening. And I hope each and every one of you catch the fish of your dreams.
All right. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
Everybody, we'll see you next week. Thank you. Tell everybody about Fishing Adventures Florida live podcast every Monday night. Take care.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Lisa.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Lisa, hold on a second.
Yes.